finals. Maybe we should leave the soundtrack playing for a bit. It's pretty good. The last game.
The last stand.
Shandor's Minions versus Super Hot Crew.
How appropriate is that?
Yeah, I mean...
How appropriate is that?
We have the team led by the proprietor of the tournament. In a way, spiritually. And the team that came here with a lot of expectations on their shoulders. Super Hot Crew, the premier team, really probably the highest average ELO team represented at the tournament. Very strong competitors from the UW Inter Sanctum.
Yeah.
From the UW League of Legends Club have brought us a level of competition. It's only getting better. Every tournament, it's only getting better.
They seem to just be starting, and we're
yeah, we still got matches left to play. This is, well, yeah, I wouldn't be super disappointed if we saw a bracket reset, but because I think this is going to be a really great game.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be hands down a really good game, no matter what happens. You know, even if it's a dominating sweep for one side, I can excitedly say that it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, already the journey to get here was so arduous for all the teams involved that at this point, whoever wins is kind of like, okay, you made it.
And interestingly enough, Shandor's Minions never really had the opportunity to fight, Lovely Princesses. They never had the opportunity to fight Super Hot Crew.
That's true. Because they got knocked into the
yeah, they got knocked into losers so early by To Be Determined. So it's interesting because, micromental things like having a stronger player top versus a stronger player as a support, those kind of rhythms in game can set the tidal ebb and flow of game pace, and it can make huge waves. Like all of a sudden, your jungle path that's more top oriented isn't going to be as effectual because their top is just destroying. So even though those teams are now knocked out, Lovely Princesses and Lovely Princesses and
TBD?
TBD. Yes, TBD. Sorry, I forgot who won. To be decided. They had a lot of unique strengths, a lot of times during the game flow that they shined, and if we had seen the bracket come to fruition in any other format, we could have seen a very different result because a lot of these games were really close.
Yeah.
They really came down to that clutch engagement.
Yeah.
That ace at Baron.
Down
Right?
to the mechanical
that was
plays, really.
literally I did not see any team closing down until that happened. Then was when the light broke in the clouds and it's like, all right, we can do it. It's there.
Yeah.
And Shorter Ace has done a great job of leading his team this far. He's made it through the losers bracket. He's back up to challenge a team he's never fought before. I believe one or two of the players have skirmish experiences in a solo setting, but realistically, this is the first time they're facing off on a 5-on-5. I'm excited to see what they have to offer.
Yeah.
So, what do you knowing Super Hot Crew's being our inside source, what do you think their mindset is going into this game? Do they I guess a better question would be, in previous tournaments, is there any, did they have resolution to win? Is it a let's do our best, guys, or is it there's no excuses and we're not leaving this building until we beat them?
They have this determination to win.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they have the mindset of a champion. They really have the mindset of taking first or not selling with anything else. But I think more than anything that separates them from a lot of other teams is that they really take their time to do a lot of research and think about what they're going to do. Despite how they talk and how they sound and some of those things as they communicate, privately they like to think about what the next match is going to be figure out what the opponents like to play and what they're weak against, and then use that against them. And so you can bet that not only will they have the fighting spirit to take this match, but they'll also try to do that in the most intelligent way that they can figure.
It was very, it was a great peek into the mind of Team Super Hot Crew when Thix came in and gave a short rundown on like their mindsets in the picking and ban phase, because it enlightened to me as to just exactly how deep their pre-game strategy was. They knew from the get-go that the bot lane was going to be a problem, and they tried to corral it into being as controllable as possible. And as a result of that, Draven, never really broke past the mid-game point.
Right.
He was kind of locked into the early mid-game strength, and he never became quite the scariest carry.
I really think that the preparation is
definitely
really
preparation.
one of the things that sets
They have a huge
Super
notebook.
Hot. Yeah,
It's pretty good.
the Super Hot Crew is, I mean, they're ready to win. You know, they're willing to do what it takes to win. That might separate them from a lot of the other teams.
Right.
You know, of course, alongside their really strong individual play and a lot of their team coordination. I mean, we've seen time and time again. I mean, right from the first game that we watched against TBD, even though they lost, some of the most beautiful initiations that I have ever seen.
It was staggering, really. It was pretty astounding.
Yeah. And you know, things like, I particularly remember the play where Lucian, Kim Yura came in, flashed, used his Q and chunked down, I think it was a Caitlyn, and then he ran back, and then the Orianna came in from the side and finished the kill. And then Lucian, who was tanking the tower, knew that he could get out because he had that confidence and the synergy with his mid lane player that they would finish that kill. And just the coordination between them moving back and forth and fighting as a team. They really look like a team when they play.
Yeah, it's their communication is really, like you said earlier, Shorter Ace is the glue. He's the glue, and he's a strong glue. He's gorilla glue. You know, this team is so tightly fused, you can barely tell which player is which. They're just one mind, one arm.
Just one
being.
thing.
They are a team, and only
They're
that.
like an amoeba.
All right, so guys, I would love to break down Champ Select as extensively as possible, but as this is potentially the last match of the night, I want to take this opportunity to just do a quick recap on constant themes that we've been plugging across the stream. Thank you so much to Shandor of Gamebreakerz Auburn for hosting the tournament, being here the entire time, helping the players, answering questions, always having a smile on his face. He never makes it difficult for anybody to really enjoy the game. And that's just really what any tournament player could ask for. So if you guys haven't been before and you're interested in League, you've got 5 friends, come down. I know it looks a little hardcore from the stream. We got all the fancy cameras and intense analysis, but it's really a fun event. Everybody's here, spectating on the projector, having a blast, chatting it up. It's definitely worth coming, even if you don't think you're going to be able to play. Really worth even just checking out if you want to stop by in the future.
Definitely a good kind of entertaining experience.
You guys seem like you've had fun.
Just to meet the community out here, and play games and try to win.
Right.
That's something that's
definitely carries on the Seattle spirit. The pro gamers about Seattle spirit. So this might be the last time I bring it up before we pick the winners. So this is your last chance. Pound Myonics at Logical at 253 Gamebreakerz. Get in the raffle. Win the mouse pad.
Or 2 mouse pads.
No, it's Play Surface.
Play Surface.
Play Surface. You can do what you want with it. Be it a mouse or a trackball. If you're a trackball user, we can't exclude the minority.
Legos.
Lego, it's Play Surface. You can use Lego Lincoln Logs.
Build a puzzle on it.
Yeah, you could. It's firm. It offers support for your jigsaw pieces. Yes, Pound Myonics. Give them a shout out. They deserve the recognition for sending us this equipment, for giving Shandor the kind of deal where he can offer a discount to a player, who he wants to get into competitive gaming, and they feel like their equipment needs an upgrade, and they're like, oh, well, mechanical keyboard is nice. And they're like, oh, a different keyboard's not going to make that big of a difference. They're like, whoa, I don't accidentally, cue my minion wave when I desperately need it anymore. Oh, that's nice.
When they feel the power of the mechanical.
They feel the power. All right. Next off, we have, I wanted to recap the prizes that we have. So, third place, to be decided, left here with the Myonix shorter scale play surface, along with quite a bit in pot prize. We actually, there's some money to be had this event. It was not quite like the round robin. We were only 4 teams. The pot was a little small. With, I mean, the actual cash value might not look huge. I think it's 300 bonus or guaranteed. It's at least $300 in cash for the first place. But let's top it off. We got 5 $80 mice.
Yep.
That's $400 in cash value. And that's after the discounted price. I think they're like $110 retail. Definitely valuable product to have a surprise. So that's the equivalent of $700. On top of that, 3,200 RP. That's $25.
32. I don't know. I barely ever buy.
It's like something around $25.
But it's a lot.
So that's another $125. So equivalent of enroaching $850 in prize value for first place. And second place, the Sargas mousepad is great, and there's quite a bit of cash to be had as well, on top of RP support from Riot. First place does get the Triumphant Rise skin. I know not too many people are a huge fan of the dated skins, but they are up for grabs. It's one of the only ways to get them. So if you're a collector, the value is there. Next time you run your Snowball Rise bike, and be like, hey, I am Triumphant Rise.
Very cool.
So that wraps up for prizes. As we move in here, I'd just like to remind everybody that this match is best of 1. It is coming close on, it's just past 1 a.m. here. We're going to try to wrap up the tournament so our young'uns have time to get home and do their essay before school on Monday.
This is actually really interesting. We talked about the fact that Shorter Ace had never really played Wukong.
Yes, we did.
And he's actually
neither did
Viagra. Pick that up.
It's actually, I'm interested by how little Wukong was represented in the tournament, because he's very. Now, to be fair, that's not to say that the all-star junglers didn't pick really good junglers. It was always Elise, Fi, Lee Sin, Pantheon, something along those lines. Have the power to make any play you could want to make. It's just that Wukong hits a target demographic that's a little bit different, and maybe their comp or what they were fighting didn't really allow for Wukong to come to his full potential.
Definitely when it gets to the point where teams are banning Lee Sin, and then Super Hot Crew wants to ban Pantheon, and then the other team picks the Vi. There's not very many choices for junglers left.
Yeah.
There's only a few.
Unless you want to run something completely unorthodox.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could see the
Yorick.
The Yorick jungle. I heard that being whispered. I was like, huh?
Shorter Ace,
that word?
Yorick jungle is the legend.
the nefarious villain of solo queue, destroying promos left and right, griefing promos of his own if he doesn't feel up to snuff that day.
Terrorizing the internet citizens.
So let's do a quick recap of what we're seeing in terms of picks. We're going to have to sit here through the delay regardless, so this might as well be the time we spend doing it. Blue team, we've got Shandor's Minions, led by Forever Twisted, currently undefeated all the way up through his winner's bracket, and as much as we talked about Super Hot Crew being on a streak, it doesn't compare to being undefeated.
Yep.
The fact of the matter is that Shandor's Minions, they convincingly won. It wasn't like a hat, it was some weird backdoor last-minute XPK kind of strat. They convincingly won their game versus To Be Decided. And, Super Hot Crew said they weren't quite warmed up when they fought To Be Decided, but in the end, they still didn't manage to clutch out that first round win.
Yep.
So currently undefeated. They got the best track record of any team on the venue. Meanwhile, Super Hot Crew did fall once to be decided, but they brought it back. They earned their redemption. They've shown that they deserve to be in the finals. And with this team comp, they could, yeah.
It's definitely a good team comp. I mean, I think both sides have gotten really strong picks. Once again, we see that Caitlyn Morgana, which we've seen so many times.
Right, and then the pairs also of the Vi Orianna. Even Shyvana Orianna as well. That's big frontline initiation potential.
Yep.
Because as much as we love to theorize about, I kind of brought this up earlier, what if you have Malphite, Yasuo, Wukong combo, right? Like, okay, you're going to catch 2 people at red buff, and you're going to spend 3 ultimates to kill them.
Yep.
Yep, yes, that would be good. Yes, you're right. But let's talk about good one-shots, like good one-shot strats. Like, Vi's always going to be on the front lines, and she can appreciate having some extra MR and armor. So having Orianna shield in her is also going to open up like Shockwave. She can guarantee the slow and then follow up with the ult.
Yep.
She's a guaranteed frontline bruisers in Vi, in Shyvana, who are going to give her great ball carriers.
Just very solid kind of sustained presence that would really help out the team fight situation.
Right. Especially with like the shredding auto attack. That can bring a lot of under the table damage that goes unappreciated. The better Orianna players, they really start to learn the power of a shredding that her passive brings to the table.
Yeah.
It is definitely a lot to chew on. Meanwhile, the raw champion strength of Shorter Ace's team is very scary.
Yeah.
Wukong, very strong. Gragas, very strong. Sivir, top 3. Jax, can't go wrong with Jax unless you're like fighting Renekton or something. Thresh, very strong.
Yep.
There's not a weakness, and if there is a weakness, you could claim that really it's just there's not a whole ton of synergy, but realistically, synergy really comes down to like enabling characters to play to their full strengths. And if a character operates independently at full strength, they will operate just as well with other people to help them out.
Yeah.
So somebody like Gragas, who doesn't really need a helping hand, it's going to be just fine. Especially when he's got Wukong there to lock down targets for him. One thing that I do want to bring up is that the Sivir pickup is really nice because you got a lot of melee. You want to get Wukong in there, and invisibility doesn't cut it all the time. You want to get Jax in there, and sometimes you want to get Gragas out of there. So I believe that the Sivir ult is very key. I don't think they could have picked a better ADC for this team.
Yeah.
Either way, it's looking very exciting as we enter the finals match of Gamebreakerz 5-on-5. During the loading screen, please excuse me. I will try to popularize this as much as possible.
The interesting thing, too, about the picks here, at least for Super Hot Crew, is they have 3 convert picks on their side.
They do.
The Sivir, the Thresh, and the Gragas are all convert picks for the players playing in those roles. We haven't really seen Shorter Ace on Wukong, and I actually have no idea what the hell Xiaolon's champion pool is because he just plays so much. So we're going to see how this match plays out. The Caitlyn Morgana lane, again, is going to be a really strong early game factor. And I think that the Thresh pick into the Morgana is looking more and more difficult to deal with as I see it.
As the tournament has progressed, it's really never failed them.
Yeah.
Like, has it? I don't remember a game where it's failed them.
I mean, both these teams have rarely ever lost.
Right. That's a good way to put it. Morgana, like we mentioned earlier, we talked a lot about Morgana support recently in the spotlight, and well-deserved. She's there for a reason. It's not a niche pick. It's really very multi-purpose.
I remember a game in this tournament, actually. I think it was Super Hot Crew versus Such Poro, where the Caitlyn Morgana lane actually did a lot of big plays on the bot lane of Super Hot Crew.
And real quick here, and a quick recap for the cut. Sorry, my iteration is a bit poor. We've got Purple Team, Super Hot Crew coming back from losers bracket to fight Forever Twisted, leading the Shandor's Minions, the currently undefeated champions of the event. Definitely looking forward to the game. Both teams have brought so much value to the tournament.
Yeah.
Super Hot Crew through their upset of to be determined, earning back their place in the finals. They've worked hard. They've only had one life the whole tournament because they got knocked out their first round.
Yeah.
So they've literally
Just
not
been
had
playing.
a chance. They haven't had a chance. It's been balls to the wall the entire 12 hours. And
It's tiring.
it's tiring. It's very stressful. It's taxing on a player's mindset and their mental clarity.
Yeah.
So that they've only sharpened their blades this late into this very strenuous event, it really speaks to their experience in previous tournaments, because that's something you can only pick up by playing lots and lots of tournaments. And
Gragas coming down the unsafe way.
Little exposed here.
I think he's aware. I think he's aware.
I'm betting that
I think he knows for sure now.
He's conscious, yeah.
I think he knows for sure now that his teammates have made it to blue. Oh.
Perhaps.
God.
I think he was confident they weren't going to be able to kill him, because he has body slam over the wall. And Gragas here to help Jax fight it out, but the level 1, actually with Vi this low, she really, we're going to be forced to flash here.
And they might get a second flash.
Nothing really coming of Orianna. Still has both of her summoners. Really only grabbed Vi's flash there. They did pop her really low. She's going to need the help from Shyvana to finish her blue there. So just starting out and looking at buys, Thresh starting with the Ancient Coin, and Morgana once again going for the Ruby Crystal.
Interesting pick.
Definitely prioritizing the early sight stoner. Oh, this is going to be dangerous.
A double flame.
Extended out, but they really care not for the Ignite or the Thresh, just totally tunnel visioning Sivir down, saying, hey, Thresh, you've burned your Flay proc, and you have nothing left to bring to the table.
Yep, and Super Hot Crew seems to have issues with the Caitlyn Morgana bot lane.
Oh, excellent flashing around the Vault Breaker, although with the Ignite, this might lead to Vi's death.
Oh, got it.
Excellent.
You knew exactly
yeah,
how
the
much
powerful
damage that was
auto attack from
gonna do.
Gragas.
When he gets it
but
from the minions.
Orianna picks up the double buffs.
That's going to be
And,
really hard
we saw last game what
Fix is here to assist.
early game Orianna with blue can do to even a scary laner like Anivia, but this is going to be hard.
Oh, they're going to
Without
take the double
flash.
buff back. Look at how big
Wow,
that barrier is.
especially comboed with the E from Orianna. She's actually going to pick up 2 kills.
Wow. What a big start for
So,
Shandor's minions.
Shandor's minions, Bogdaddy.
Big play.
Bringing the excitement.
How big that barrier was?
That was massive. Well, it was 2 shields.
Yep.
Well, no, I guess Black Shield is
It was the Orianna E on top of the barrier.
on top of the barrier, right? And Black Shield was almost immediately consumed as well.
Yep.
Well, I think more Shut Your Mouth deserves some credit. That was a great rotation to come support his mid laner.
It was a great rotation by Thix too.
Yeah,
but
it
they were
was.
falling right behind. That is a really good start for Shandor's minions.
It's going to be just so tough, especially, Sivir does have the CS lead from forcing Caitlyn back really early. It's kind of interesting now because probably the kill on Sivir was worth less than the amount of CS that Sivir is going to get while Caitlyn slowly returns to lane without boots.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to take if you want to get that first blood.
Interesting to note that at least Shorter Ace made it out with his own red buff because they had stopped the red buff steal.
Right.
And then Shorter Ace had taken his opponent's red buff and then taken his own blue. And so after that engagement, Shorter Ace could go back and take his own red buff. So he still has ganking potential, and he got that EXP.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember accurately, Gragas was one of Orianna's hardest matchups. It's considered to be one of, if not her hardest matchup. Everything from the sustain of, the guzzling, keeping him in lane, versus, you know, he's a bit of mobility on him. And additionally, he can just walk up and auto attack.
Yep.
Oh, Thresh coming in. Wukong as well to reinforce. This might be dangerous for Finny. Sivir slipping out with just a fraction of health. Shut your mouth. Body blocking for Caitlyn. The hook might not be enough.
Binding there.
He doesn't have a flay to follow it up.
That binding really changed the pace of the fight.
So, not leading to any resolution, but here is Vi. And Caitlyn did have time to pop a couple of health potions. She's coming back with 50% health. She might be able to pick up a Peacemaker on Wukong. But the Thresh Lantern Shield was enough to keep him alive. And actually, Morgana may have overextended herself. Oh, the 90 caliber net. Looks like it saved them. And,
chugging the Morgana.
Very
Too many
spooky.
creeps in the way, though.
I think Sivir was desperately chugging the mana pot.
Yeah.
Please, Boomerang Blade, come back up. Now, why don't you let me last hit this Dark Angel? And once again, Morgana, Caitlyn have been forced out of lane. They have, I don't know if this is actually working in their favor. Morgana's picking up a ton of great assists, and Caitlyn got the great start. You know, she got the kill and the assist bot, but they're losing their lane. They're losing their lane power. They do not have as much face time in the bot lane.
They're losing EXP, and the creep score for Sivir is quite a bit higher at this point.
Their presence in bot lane is pretty much non-existent because every time they return to lane, they get forced back by some sort of jungler/mid combo engagement.
And that might be exactly what Super Hot Crew's bot lane needs.
Yeah, their strategy. They might be saying, hey, we can't contest their laning phase. Let's let there not be a laning phase.
Yeah.
Let's just make it all about ganking bot. If their jungler comes, we'll fight it out. We're much more confident in fighting your bot lane than we are in trying to lane against your bot lane. However, with like no mana, Caitlyn might find it tough to counter clear these waves. Meanwhile, if we take a quick breezy look at top, Jax, dear lord,
55 CS.
500% of Shyvana's CS.
How does he do it?
How do you do it?
He's
Xiaolan,
always winning his lane.
plagued with skill. And Peacemaker chunking Thresh pretty hard, but you know, with the health restoration from Coin, we're gonna see that trade health deficit pretty much disappear in just a wave or two. And Xiaolan just so strong so soon. It's 2 levels up. If 1 kill is really all it takes, this might be rough going for Forever Twisted in the top lane. Usually he's got this dominating top.
Oh, wow!
Caught out by the ward, and it looks like Jax might pick up a double.
Out of no, Vi thought she was saved.
She totally thought she was saved.
That was a case of Predator gets hunted.
Yes, it was.
Predator becomes prey.
And I don't think there's a possibility that Shyvana's going to be able to outtrade Jax into these situations. And while they're securing Baron, I have a question for me. Nope, okay. I was wondering if Jax warded and then jumped, but the ward was there the whole time.
Right.
Wukong does manage to secure the buff, or sorry, the dragon, and Xiaolan absolutely dominating top, caring not for the tower, but the combined damage from Ignite and the tower actually forces him to retreat.
Gonna force him away.
Yep. Shyvana, you know, didn't have Flash to follow up because she spent it earlier trying to juke it out with Jax earlier on. Ooh, good spell.
Nice
shield blocks the right skill.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about that because I'm pretty sure if you just walk into desecrated soil with spell shield up, it'll just eat it instantly.
Yeah.
I believe that's accurate. Any spell effect will eat. So